Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session to help a client change how they considered and thought about their partner's consumption of porn. And they didn't want to feel hurt, angry, betrayed. And equally, they knew that their partner wasn't going to change just because they were asking them to. So it left them with an option of, well, either they accept their partner's behavior or they effectively leave the relationship. And they didn't want to leave the relationship. So the acceptance is fine in theory, but if you're being emotionally triggered, then it doesn't quite feel right. So she wanted to think about her partner's consumption of porn in a way that left her with this neutral or even empowered feeling. Now, the great thing about belief systems, values, rules, is they're all subjective. What is okay for one person is completely unacceptable for another. So this hypnosis session isn't saying this is how you should think about porn at all. It's saying that this particular client wanted to feel either neutral or ambivalent or even empowered by the idea of her husband watching porn. And that's why these suggestions are these suggestions. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be right for you. And being a therapist for as long as I have, what I've learned is that it's much more useful to think in terms of beliefs and behavior and thoughts, not as right or wrong, because that comes with a truckload of judgment and emotional triggers, but more the utility. Is it useful or not? And what I've come to believe is that humans can believe anything. And if you don't believe that, I want you to think about that conspiracy theorist that you know that believes something that you don't believe, but they believe it with every cell in their body, if that makes sense. So humans can believe anything. And if that's true, that humans can believe anything, then why not believe the most empowering, useful things possible? And the client wanted to feel differently about their husband's consumption of porn. This frames porn as something harmless, as something meaningless, as just an outlet for fantasies, but also as a barometer, as a gauge, so that if they were to improve their sex life, they might notice that their partner's consumption of porn goes down, in which case it gives them a roadmap to have a better sex life, which most people would probably think is a good idea. No judgment here at all. This is just, let's say, suggestions and resources that certain people might find useful. Not everyone has to believe it for it to be useful, if that makes sense. If you feel like you would benefit from a hypnosis session customized to you that is empowering for you in some way, then click a link in the show notes and you can book a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me directly. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just feel the wonderful sense that you're able to let go. To let go of any worries, frustrations, tension or stress. Just feel it leave your body in that outward breath, enabling you to feel that just by breathing in and breathing out, you're drifting off to a place where it feels easy to think of things from a new perspective. When you breathe in deeper. And when you breathe out for longer. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. As you realize that many times in your life, you've thought differently about the same thing. Maybe there was a person you thought about in a certain way, and something happened and you thought about them in a different way. And notice how easy it is sometimes to take a new perspective, a new frame of reference, a new way of thinking about things. So as you breathe in and breathe out, feel that you're drifting deeper and deeper relaxed. And use the power of your imagination to imagine walking towards a familiar park. I want you to imagine you're holding a dog leash. And at the end of that dog leash is a familiar dog. I want you to stroke that dog and feel a wonderful feeling of connection. I want you to get a sense that you and the dog are walking towards a stream in a park on a beautiful day with sunshine, blue skies, and just the occasional fluffy white cloud. Continue to breathe in and breathe out deeply, feeling like you're making your way to a place in that park where there is a lounge chair. Maybe it's reclining, but you can still see a small creek where a stream is flowing through the park, feeling fresh air on your skin and feeling a wonderful sense of deep relaxation. Imagine you can feel that fur of the dog under one hand. You can hear the ambience of that relaxing park. You can know there's a stream not far away, even if you can't hear it. Feel the sun on your skin as you drift off deeper and deeper relaxed. And I will count down from 5 to 1, and with each descending number you will feel that you're drifting deeper and deeper relaxed. 5, just releasing all the tension in your face. Eyelids, jaw, neck and shoulders, just all of it relaxes now. 4, arms feeling limp, loose, heavy, so relaxed they just dangle by your side. 3, as you breathe in, just imagine every internal organ relaxing simultaneously. Your lungs, your heart, your stomach, even your diaphragm. All relaxes so you can breathe effortlessly and deeper, even deeper than you were before. 2, just feel that feeling of relaxation going into your gut, releasing any anxiety. And then 1, all the way down your legs to the tips of your toes as you imagine what it would feel like to drift off to sleep, having a dream-like nap there in that chair in that park with your dog beside you on a lazy summer's day. As you give permission to yourself to just let go, to go even deeper relaxed. I want you to think about what is a fantasy for you. The kind of fantasy that you would never live that fantasy, but it feels fun to just explore it. Maybe there's been movie stars you've seen in a movie that you've imagined even briefly what a relationship would feel like. Maybe you've read a book and just imagined what it would be like to live in a different part of the world, have different experiences. And I want you to notice that every one of those fantasies was harmless, meaningless. It was just your imagination, entertaining a thought, and maybe it triggered a nice feeling. But that nice feeling was fleeting, and you returned back to reality. And if your unconscious mind accepts the idea that fantasies are harmless and can even be useful to stimulate the imagination, just let me know by nodding your head. So as you drift off to an even deeper place, feel that it's time to let go of any echoes of resentment, anger, hurt or betrayal. Not the actual emotion, but just echoes of it. Just feel it leave your body in that outward breath, or imagine projecting it into a twig or a branch floating on a stream nearby, and just allow it all to float away, being carried downstream, far, far away. And then open your mind to new ways of thinking. Because why voluntarily think about things in a way that make you feel hurt, angry, sad, or betrayed? If there is a way of thinking about things that make you feel that things are just harmless entertainment. As you breathe in and breathe out, you start to feel more at ease knowing that your partner's interest in porn is just a harmless fantasy, like watching a TV show. And each time you think your partner might be watching porn, you start thinking of it as a sign of harmless curiosity, not a reflection on your relationship. You understand, porn is never highly desirable. For most people, it's just a poor substitute for the real intimacy and connection. Perhaps the real intimacy and connection that you share with your partner. Porn can never compete with that, because porn is a fantasy and real connection is real. And maybe you believe that meeting your partner's sexual needs through real experiences together will naturally reduce their interest in porn. And your partner's consumption of porn starts to feel just as trivial to you as watching a sports game or a movie. It's not a threat to you. It's harmless entertainment. And the more you think of it in that way, the less it can emotionally affect you. As you start to see porn as a way for your partner to explore harmless fantasies, it's not a threat to your relationship. And you feel confident that as your sexual connection grows, your partner's desire for porn will naturally diminish. And each time your partner watches porn, I wonder if you can imagine it as a canary in the coal mine, a harmless gauge of their need for variety and stimulation. And what if you believe that porn is simply an outlet for your partner's fantasies with no real significance? You trust that satisfying your partner's sexual needs will lead to a natural decline in their interest in porn. And any consumption of porn is just a sign to explore new ways to meet your partner's sexual desires. As you start to imagine a future where you communicate more clearly your desires and take more of an interest in theirs. And maybe you could imagine a time in the future where you feel liberated, connected, that sex is not an obligation or an expectation, but an outlet for you to explore your fantasies and your partner to explore theirs, to reconnect. A moment of excitement, passion, enthusiasm. I want you to get a sense that sometimes people naturally do things to meet an unconscious need they don't realize they have. Sometimes when people watch action movies or adventure movies, it's because deep down they want more action and adventure in their own lives. Sometimes if people watch travel TV shows, what their unconscious really desires is to see more of the world. And I want you to imagine that from this point onwards, your partner's consumption of porn just reveals that they have sexual needs like everyone else on the planet, including yourself. And therefore, your brain will care less about the consumption of porn and think more about how to build the kind of relationship where you meet each other's sexual needs and fantasies. And if your unconscious mind likes that future much more than a future of hurt, betrayal, and suspicion, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to get a sense that you are unlocking a curiosity, and maybe you'll find yourself where conversations take a turn to what your partner likes and enjoys, not to interrogate, not to shame, not to make them feel awkward or guilty, but a genuine curiosity that could lead to experiences that are good for you and good for them. And if your unconscious likes that idea, to be less bothered, triggered, and affected, and more curious about how to enjoy and improve real experiences, let me know by nodding your head. And just imagine that a seed has now been sown in your deep unconscious mind, the kind of seed that will bear fruit in the future, and each piece of fruit is a wonderful, real experience that's good for you and good for your partner. Each fruit is pleasure, enjoyment, connection, fulfillment, and satisfaction. And just imagine a future of so much of those kind of things. Isn't it likely that the need to experience a poor quality substitute would naturally diminish if the real thing tastes so good? So breathe in and breathe out and feel like you're now leaving that chair. Imagine walking back with that dog there by your side, walking back to the present moment, feeling that you now have a new frame of reference that will be empowering for you. A pathway to real connection, real intimacy, real experiences, and less hurt, pain, anger, and betrayal. As you feel like you're returning to this very moment in the here and now, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect fully into the present moment. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, comfortable, confident, with a new perspective on life. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.